Hey guys, it's your girl Kat. I am back with another video. Sorry, it's been a couple of weeks. A lot of crazy stuff has been going on. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you know that recently my husband and I took a trip back to Alabama to get our stuff out of storage. It has been in storage for 2.5 years, which is a long time. We were paying crazy amounts of money a month, and finally we decided, let's just go back, sell some stuff, bring some stuff back, and now that chapter of our life is finished, and we are so happy about that. Remember, if you like my content, always remember to like, subscribe, and share, or drop a comment below. It helps me to stay engaged with you guys and know if you're following along, if you like it, or if you just want to hear something different. The shirt is Walmart. I actually bought this shirt maybe 7 years ago. When I bought it, it was way too big for me. I just saw it. It says Malibu on it. It's like this Barbie pink, which is not even my personality, but I just saw it and I thought it was so cute, and I was too fat to fit it, so I bought it and I kept it. And so this is actually the first time that I wore it out. I wore it to church today with a cute little blazer. I'll show you some pictures. I just felt super uber cute today, and so I wanted to talk to you today about teaching people how to treat you. One of the questions that I keep getting in my email and my DM and in the comment section kind of surround the idea of people trying to reconcile everybody else and their future. Get others outside of themselves to go along with them on their weight loss journey, or get them to accept the surgery or the terms and conditions that go along with, you know, you saying you want to be a healthier you. And the problem with that is not everybody's going to get on board. What I am seeing is that people need to have a refresher, so to speak, and how to teach people how to treat you. There are a lot of people who are in our lives who are engaging with us based off how we've taught them how to treat us. They're engaging with us because there's been a set of rules that we've subconsciously taught them, and they're just playing by the rules that you set up. You know, play the game by the rules that you set up for them. I'll give you an example. If you have a friend who's always using you, who always calls you when they need something, who always calls you when they need somebody to talk to, but they're very rarely there for you, they're very rarely around when you need them, they don't have the money or they don't have the time to listen to you, but for some reason, every time that they need you, you're available. You've taught them over time that they can give you the bare minimum, and that's all it is required of them in that relationship. You've taught them that it's okay to be a, you know, crappy friend because you're always going to be there. And the problem with those situations is that as individuals, if we don't have a sober view of ourselves, we will sit back and blame everybody else for how we've allowed them to treat us, and then get mad when we look up 5 years from now and realize we've wasted our time. So when you are dealing with your weight loss journey, whether you're having VSG or whether you're saying, Kat, I got denied for the surgery, I'm gonna have to do this on my own, that's okay too. You have to get ready to understand that not everybody can come along with you on this journey. And I know it's frustrating, and it's like, well, Catherine, I really want my coworkers to be there, or my cousin, or my best friend. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's not your coworker, best friend, or even your spouse who's gonna have to make the choice of what to eat. Who's gonna have to make the choice, let me get up and go to the gym. Who's gonna have to make the choice, let me get that lemon water over that cup of soda. It's gonna be you. So you might as well get used to being the person in the driver's seat, making all the decisions when it comes to those things, as well as what's good for your relationships in your life. You know, tip number one when dealing with teaching people how to treat you, you gotta communicate. I can't tell you how many people that I've encountered who just expect people to be a mind reader and just to know how they're feeling or what they need. You gotta communicate. So even if you've been friends with somebody for 15, 20 years, it's okay to say, hey, we're gonna go out for coffee, we're gonna go out for lunch. I have some things I wanna get off my chest. And if they really love you, they will sit and they will listen with the open heart to what you need to say. And you need to just be blunt with them. Don't beat around the bush. Don't try to crack some jokes to soften the blow. Go right in, go for the jugular and say, hey, you know what? For the past however many years, I know that our relationship has been one way. It's just not working for me anymore. And blame it on VSG, blame it on your new job. You can blame it on me and tell them to come find my YouTube page and they can watch me for themselves, you know. But sit down and have a conversation and let people know how things have been going. It ain't working for me. It's not working for me, you know. You can tell people the way you talk to me, it just ain't working for me. They say, well, what do you mean? You know, I be playing, or I talk to everybody like that. Or my favorite one is, that's just how I am. That's my favorite one. You can let them know, hey, look, You have every right to tell me no, to say this is how I am. I'm gonna use myself as an example. You know, Kat, I just don't know what you're talking about. I think you're being dramatic, I think you're being extra. And you say, well, listen, I just wanted to make sure that we can mark in our friendship the point where I told you that behavior was a problem, so that if you continue to conduct yourself in that manner and I cut you off, you know why. It won't be a surprise. Because there's a lot of people who like to talk about cutting people off, but you never told them why, because you're too scary to open your mouth and say what you did hurt me. We got to be able to be transparent and vulnerable if we want change. So tip number one, you got to communicate with people when you're teaching them how to treat you, okay? When you're teaching them your new terms and conditions. Number two, you have to know yourself. This one is such a big one because sometimes, you know, we get stuck on number one. I got to tell you how I feel. But the problem with that is if you don't know yourself, if you don't know your weaknesses and your strengths, your pitfalls, things that are triggers for you, you will go in and ramble off at your mouth about what they need to be doing, not realizing the main problem lies with you. To give you an example, if I have a friend that is just, I really love her, but she always is borrowing money from me, you know, something easy, you know, and she's all, or I have a friend who's always doing fat jokes. Like she's always making fat jokes about me, and it's like, oh man, I'm getting tired of it, I don't like it. And I sit down with her and I tell her, hey, you got to stop doing this. I'm not gonna let you borrow money anymore because I just feel like you're using me. Or you can say, hey, I don't like it when you make these fat jokes about me. It hurts my feelings. You think it's funny. I know I've been laughing, but that's enough of that. I don't like that anymore. And we agree not to do it. You got to understand yourself. What do I mean? Let's take the first one, the money issue. You have a friend who's borrowing a lot of money from you. But the reason why you keep giving the money is because you hate yourself so much, you don't like the person you've become because of the weight or whatever, that you're finding ways to be a people pleaser. So while the friend may be using you for money, you may cut that off. You may notice this behavior manifesting in other areas of your life. Maybe you start doing other people's work in the office. Maybe you start volunteering more at your church because you're a good Christian, you're a good person. Or you start volunteering at the nonprofit up the street more. Maybe you start cooking more food for your neighbor, or whatever it is, trying to fulfill the need in you to feel worthy in some other way. This is why it's important for you to know yourself. Let's say it's the other one. You got the friend who's talking bad about you and joking, and you say, I don't like that. And you say, stop doing that with me. Well, then you got to make sure that in other areas, you're not taking on verbal abuse for the sake of making that person comfortable. Or for the sake of you believing what you're laughing because you believe, oh, I am a nasty pig, or I am a greedy and I'll never lose weight. Yeah, I don't deserve that. Yeah, I am broke. I'm the broke one in the group. Or whatever it is. If you deal with them, deal with you too. It's two people in that situation, not just them. It's really important that you deal with yourself. And to deal with yourself, you have to know yourself. What are your triggers? Most people that I talk to, can I be honest, we all have mommy and daddy issues. How do you feel about your mom? If I said that and you're watching this and something, you know, shook up in you, then you got mommy issues. If you did that and because I said daddy issues, then you got daddy issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just got to be real with you guys, because sometimes it's so easy to gloss over your own crap and point at everybody else because it's easy to see it. But a lot of the issues you're having with other people, the root is here. You see, dealing with them is surface level. That's all on top. You really want to get down to the root, look at yourself. Who has hurt you? You know, when you're in a relationship with a man, it's like, yeah, all the men I'm dating are crap. Well, what was your relationship like with your dad? Was he crappy, but you loved him anyway? Just thinking you could love him into being a better father? I'm just saying. I'm just giving you examples of situations where you got to check yourself. Why did you allow that to go on? Why did you let people treat you like that? Maybe you just didn't know any better. It's okay to say, Kat, I grew up in a dysfunctional household, and that's just how it was. I just got to a point where I'm learning and I don't like it anymore. And I always tell people, reserve the right to change your mind. So number one, make sure you communicate. Number two, know yourself, okay? Know yourself. Okay? And number three, know what you want and stand your ground. When you can communicate all day and you can know yourself all day, but if you get back in this relationship and you notice this person is doing the same thing that you told them you do not want them to do, well, guess what? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna stand your ground? You gonna cut them off? When they call, can you block their phone number? Can you block them on social media? Some of y'all have relationships where you need to just change your whole number, but your excuse is, well, I've had this number for years. I'm telling you guys, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Teach people how to treat you. Cut it off. Either you could get right, okay, or you could get gone. Choice is up to you. But what we're not going to do is what I've asked you to stop doing. Whatever it is, you have to be able to know if and then. If you don't do this, then this is gonna happen. And then I really do it. I make sure I don't contact you. I make sure I cut it off. And I make sure the next time I get in a relationship with somebody that I lay it out on the table. Hey, so I give you a perfect example with me and my husband. I was really big on, you know, being strong and doing it myself and blah, 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 blah. I finally had to come to the conclusion that I needed more hugs. I know it's like, what? When I would get overwhelmed or something's going on, he will stop everything and just hug me. And he didn't know to do that until I opened my mouth and said, sometimes I get an attitude and get snappy when I get nervous or scared or feel overwhelmed. And up until, you know, these last 8 years at the time, I just kind of coped how I knew how to cope. But now I'm in a place where I can communicate to you that I need you to love me and hug me through those moments. I'm not as badass as I think I am. Can you hug me? Just like that. I was able to communicate what I needed, told him what it looks like, and then stepped back to see if he did it. And he was able to do it because I made it clear. It's not all cutting people out your life. Sometimes in a situation like that with your spouse, maybe your spouse doesn't support the surgery and you want him to get on board. Well, you got to open up your heart a little bit. You know, tell him about the times where you're trying to put on clothes and it stops at your thighs and you just burst into tears. Tell him about the time around your stomach where it becomes raw, where you've worn tight pants just because you want to fit in them, but it's really killing you. And now your belly button and stomach is all raw and cut up and bloody. Show him. Show him the dark spaces between your legs, you know, that you're ashamed of. I've had all that. The pimples that come, the acne that comes, the hair that's falling out because you're stressed out about your life. I mean, all of these things, they are part of you and your story and your journey. And sometimes you have to be vulnerable with people so that they can get the full picture. I don't like you making fat jokes. I laugh because I'm afraid if I don't laugh, then you will think that I'm stuck up or I'm a prude. And I really want you as a friend because I don't want to lose the one friend I have. You better learn how to say something. So there's a lot more that we can talk about. I think I'm going to go live. Matter of fact, so every Wednesday, I'm going to go live on YouTube. It'll probably be 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. I like going live, and if you really want to talk about more ways that you can teach people how to treat you, I want you to tune in. I'd love to chat with you. It's about 30 to 40 of us that get on, sometimes more, and then you can also watch the replay. But this is just a big topic because I just noticed that in the VSG community, there's so much I need to talk about. I mean, I need to talk about dreams and goals and visions and do's and don'ts and blah, blah, blah. But I find that the internal stuff is stuff that kind of gets glazed over a lot of times dealing with weight loss, and it's really big. I mean, I have clients that I coach, because I am a life coach, that don't have any problem with weight. In fact, I'm meeting with a couple people this week in person and via FaceTime that I coach that don't care nothing about weight. They look good. They dealing with other stuff. So these are issues that come up in skinny people's lives too. I just noticed that as a weight loss patient and as a coach, the things that I've been getting emails about or inquiries about have a lot to do with this. And so I thought it was a great topic to talk about. But remember, if you have anything that you want me to speak on or talk about, drop it in the comment section down below. Let me know what topic you want me to touch on. You can always DM me or reach me on Facebook or IG. IG is much better for me. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Go to Instagram. Follow the page On the Losers Bench. Every day I'm trying to find new ways to support the VSG community and give you resources. So have the Losers Bench t-shirts. You can hit me up at catbranchman.com or email me for the shirts, and as well as life coaching. If you have any inquiries, you can email me at kbranchman@gmail.com. I have monthly sessions and just individual sessions if you just need somebody to kind of talk to you to get you ready for surgery. I am your girl. But thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll be back next week with another video. Thank you for supporting me. I had some people ask me, so I also will be putting my PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App down below. I am working on saving enough to do a tour where I can come visit you guys. It does take some finances. So if I've ever blessed you or poured into your life, I always tell people you can pray for me, or if you'd like to donate to me, that'd be great. It goes into the fund for me to be able to get some airline tickets and hotel stays so I can come to a city and sit with you and have a sip and chat and just talk about all the stuff that you see me talk about, so you can talk to me personally, face to face. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.